Hi, I'm Jason, and I'm glad you joined us today. Today we're going to be showing you how to keep steps from settling. I know all you guys have probably had that experience where you pour a set of steps and it wants to settle. Well, I can see my buddy's back. He's been with us all morning, so I'm gonna have a co-host today. He's going away now, but anyhow, there's probably a good 2-foot over dig on every house, and in Ohio, the basements the houses all have basements, so it goes down the whole way to 9 feet deep here. So what happens is a lot of builders will just go and fill it with dirt, backfill it with dirt, and that ends up settling there. And I've had it years later. I've noticed you can go back to that job, you can still feel that it's not completely all the way settled. So I did it a couple different ways for years. I drilled piers down in the ground, tried to do that way, but I still had a couple that moved. And then I finally had an idea of tap conning a piece of angle iron to the bottom here, and then dry stacking block off of that, so that that will hold the concrete, and you have something good to set on back here. Now normally on these steps, they're big enough that they get outside of the actual overdig, and if you're on virgin dirt, then that's not going to settle, so that's usually pretty good. So we're only worried about it basically back at the house. So what we're using today is a 3x3 inch piece of angle iron with it's a 1/4 inch thick. So we're going to drill. I got a drill bit that is just a little bit bigger than a Tapcon, and what we're going to do is just drill holes every 1.5 feet. I've used these Tapcons for years, and this technique has worked good. I know some people might think, oh, those aren't very big, those don't, but if you put enough of those in, they will hold a lot of weight, they will hold up a lot of steps. Now, if I was pouring the steps completely solid, then maybe we would do something different, but since we're going to dry stack block off of this, I've never had a problem with it. To get the height of this angle iron, what I've done is we're going to have 7.5 inch risers. So I've measured down, we're going to have three total risers. So what I've done is measured down and then added another 5 inches. So when I stack my block off of there, I got 5 inches of concrete at the top, on the top step, before it goes down into the riser part of it. So all I got to do is take a normal Tapcon set. I'm just going to drill these holes. All right, so I got some anti-rust spray paint, and usually what we'll do is go ahead and paint that angle iron too, so it just helps it from rusting any quicker than what it normally would. And it's just a good idea to get into before we put the block in. So just gonna go ahead and paint this real quick, then we can start dry stacking the block. If I did this right, we should come out where we have about 5 inches of concrete then on top of this, 5 or 6 inches. That's the other reason I like this too. Like, I know some people will put rebar and stuff into the brick and the block, but over time that just keeps, with the freeze thaw here in Ohio, that just keeps on working loose and ends up with bigger holes in the block and the brick. So I don't like that way of doing it. And what I like about the angle iron at the bottom also is that you're not actually attaching the concrete to the house. This is going to move differently than a house. Obviously the house is on a foundation, that's not going to move. This set of steps is going to float with the rest, unless you pour a huge footer underneath of it. So that's kind of the theory behind this, and I hope you guys have a great rest of the week, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.